record. Okay, so Alistair, Alistair. Not sure. Alistair. That's the way it's written. Anyway, sure. Which would you rather have? Some kind of building sim where you build a thing, or Vikings? Dum, dum, dum. Vikings it is. Okay. Send me an email address that I can send the code to. There it is. Ba-bam. Ba-bam. Copy. Vikings it is. Gift to a friend. Send an email. Control V. Send email. Also, all of you who I give these to, but you don't claim them, I see that. I see it's gifted. Once you actually take the game, it says claimed. I know all of you are just like, I don't care. Anyway, Alistair, you are the proud owner of something called Niflheim. Survive in the underworld. Oh, it's like a 2D warriors remain warriors even after death. Set out on the path to the last challenge and prove yourself to the gods. In life, you were never frightened by the cold darkness and death, and you won't fear now. Make sure you have enough provision, defend yourself, and unravel the mysteries of these lands. Niflheim. Looks pretty. So, for instance, I'm just going to look. Let's look in March. I have given away, let's see, make my choices for March 2021. I have given away XCOM Chimera Squad and nobody claimed it. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. It's a great game. Why would you not claim XCOM Chimera Squad? Anyway, okay. Man, I have a lot of windows open. A lot of tabs. Okay, close that one. Okay, close that one. Okay. How y'all doing? Oh. Yeah, someone didn't claim XCOM. It's the latest XCOM. It's the Chimera Squad. It's what happens after XCOM 2. I didn't claim it. What the? I'm going to complain about that all day today. I got my second shot yesterday. I got real sleepy last night.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 2 weeks to freedom. My arm hurts and I'd rather be sleeping, but here I am. Woo! And I'm stuck in this chair. Okay. Well, yeah, I am. I'm powering through all day. Okay. So, we got some talking to do today. I can't stress enough. And see, the thing is, I can't seem to find the email. It wasn't XCOM though. It was like a space shooting game that started with an R. Raiden something or other. Yeah, I'm not gonna go find it now. I don't know, Alan. Look for the email. Alistair, if check your email right now and make sure you got the code. I don't want these games to go unclaimed. So I here, look, check this out. Where's my Steam? I just want to show you something. Go back to games, software. No, games. Okay, library. Okay. I have been trying to give this game away in Steam for it will be from Humble Bundle. Yes. So Alan, look for an email not from me but from Humble Bundle. Where is it? Where's your stuff in Steam? Inventory, right? Content, badges, inventory. Here, inventory. I have given this game away. I can't tell you how many times. Let's see, view in store. I have one. Let me just show you. I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me. I'm a little scattered. Anyway, so this is a game called Bad Hotel. It was the IGF finalist in 2013. I have one in my Steam inventory. I mean, it's an IGF finalist. It was a look. It has all these things. I'm trying to give it. Let's hear sound. Sure, it looks kind of funky and weird, but it's a weird indie game. I have given this game away. Probably 4 or 5 times to various students. No one ever claims it. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. Like, first I gave it away. See, the problem is to give it away in Steam, we have to be friends, I think. Inventory. And I've stopped making students my friends because I'm playing a game on my computer. There I am in Steam. I'm playing a game on my computer, and I get a message that says, I have questions about what classes I should take next year, Professor O'Donnell. And I'm like, dude, I'm shooting things. No, it's 10:30 at night on a Saturday. What are you doing? So, am I punchy? I've only been drinking Gatorade. So I stopped letting students be friends with me on Steam. I don't know. I'll figure out, maybe tomorrow I'll give away Bad Hotel if I can figure out how to give something on Steam. Okay. You've had extra days to look over the adventure and compare it to what you played. I asked you to look over the adventure with the idea of what is in that adventure. I'm going to pose this question to you now. What is detailed in that adventure that never came up in your play session? What backstory? I don't know. Is there anything in there, or did you cover everything? Is everything possibly, is it just a monster? Story-wise, let me ask you, is there anything that is written in the adventure that just it didn't appear, didn't happen? Anybody? Yes.
Like, one of the things was like at the very end, we were supposed to receive this or get this like information that, I forget who like the last person we fought was, or one of the, but apparently she was working with the humans in order to kind of help build and fund their village. And
Yep.
I didn't think got that part at all because we knocked the character out
We
as
just
well as all the humans. Yeah.
just the dogs at the ruins were blink dogs, apparently. Um I were they, or was he just using that as a template? Let me pull it up. Oh, that's not it. That's the churn tracker. I have it around here somewhere. There it is. Um oh man, there was a problem loading this page. Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay. Uh at the ruins. Were they blink dogs? I think he just there's the mush moles. Let me go before rift wolves, right? So he calls them rift wolves. Um but he says just use the blink dogs in the monster manual, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Um so theoretically they're wolves that blink. Yeah. So um yeah, I guess they're kind of blink dogs. Blink dogs do a little teleportation thing. they they're there and then all of a sudden they're over there. They're a little harder to hit than regular dogs or wolves. And that's about it. um so well, let me just say, in um terms of monsters, if that may be a DM mistake, and DMs, no blame, no foul. I can't tell you how many times I have screwed things up. I've been like, oh, like after the fact, I have said, oh man, I was he had two other spells that he should have used. Oops. Right. um the whole backstory of, I can never remember her name, Lucio Lucio Finby. um they just never got to riff for us. We killed them too quickly. Okay, so um Lucio, the backstory of Lucio, what her whole deal was. um you either didn't hear it because you killed her too fast, or you knocked her unconscious too fast. um that that's I can't, well, again, that's another thing where we used to joke, especially Pathfinder, for some reason, because they fell in love with their own writing. um so you get a bad guy, and they tell you like this bad guy's life story, like why they turn to a life of crime, or why they're right, and everything that led them to this moment. And then the murder hobos pile in the room, uh kill them in 2 rounds, and move on, right? And nobody ever knows any of that stuff except the DM, which somehow informs their play. DMs, any DMs, um, was knowing Lucio's backstory, did that change anything for how you ran her? Any DMs? DMs? No DMs want to talk. Don't make me look you up. I'll do it. Not really. Okay. Thank you, Cooper, for responding. Uh, did the backstory of Lucio come out for everyone else? why she was in league with the humans, what their plans were? Mm, come on. Somebody turn on your mic. No, we didn't really worry about it.
Same here, honestly.
Yeah, it didn't matter. Doesn't matter. Our DM told us after the game, but we didn't learn it while playing. She was just spiteful about her husband's death and wanted to leave her family. You got an info dump after the fact because there wasn't any other place to fit it. Okay, so yeah, often happens. The party comes in, does what they're going to do, misses half the information, and keeps on going. The game I'm running right now, and I'm running from a printed adventure that I've kind of added to because I thought it was a bit odd. They were there, but didn't really worry too much about it. The humans. Varun? No, you're muted if you're trying to talk. Okay, so the one I'm running right now, um, I don't know if I said this on Monday, but no, I wouldn't have said it. I don't know, or Tuesday. They the kind of quest giver showed up and said, "Take me to Mars." And then halfway to Mars, she's supposed to get more information and say, "Oh, the thing that was stolen from you showed up on one of the moons of Jupiter. We should go there." And the entire party basically said, "Nah, nah, we don't. That thing that was stolen, good riddance. It's dangerous. It's scary. We don't want any part of it. We were trying to destroy it left and right, and everybody was fighting over it. And now we're kind of glad somebody else has it, and we're gonna just take you to Mars and keep going." And I, as DM, had to say, "I got nothing. I got nothing. I you don't want to do this. Okay, we'll call it." You get to Mars, you drop her off, and we can stop playing. And they're like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Sorry." So, that was my failing. I screwed up because I had a bad hook, right? Um, I didn't I didn't give them a reason to do what they wanted to do, which is keep playing. And what I wanted, where I wanted them to go, or what I wanted them to do, I didn't have a good enough reason. And when they said no, I didn't roll with it and say, "Okay, let's go to Mars and we'll figure it out from there." I was tired. I admit it. I was tired. Um, so uh, uh, this whole process is kind of lots of human foibles, right? Rose, the same thing happened to you in that you as DM, they didn't want to do it, or that you as player didn't want to do the thing.
As DM, I had a story, and I was playing, like, one of my players was a DM, so like he kind of knew what I was describing. It was like a little basilisk that this kid thought was a little puppy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, let's not go into this cave because it's full of basilisks." And so like the entire like one shot was totally thrown out the window. Luckily, one of the other players I had to run home to grab a computer charger.
Yeah.
So I had like 15 minutes to scramble online and find another one shot to then throw them into. It was a total mess.
Yeah. what are you going to do? So at this point, they were like, okay, fine, we'll go investigate this place, right? And uh, uh, this place is basically empty, but they're going to find clues to the next thing that they're supposed to go to. And I just see next week they're going to do the same thing. They're going to say, okay, now we're supposed to go there, but we were taking you to Mars, and really we wanted to go to Titan. What? And let me just say that whether this is spaceships and science fiction, or I we were going to water deep and now we're going to somewhere else, some other little town. It's the same thing, right? It's just the names of places. So I'm like racking my brains and basically trying to figure out. I've got these, so they've got NPCs that basically I threw in there myself, that they're supposed to protect these Mormon kids who they're 17 and they're going on their Mormon mission year to Titan, right? I thought this was fun and funny. And now they've been kidnapped, and they're on a pirate ship. They were kidnapped by the pirates, then all the pirates got killed, so now they're running the ship. And so we got these Mormons who are pirates now, and it's very Peter Pan. They're all psyched to be pirates and stuff. And and they're like, no, we're supposed to take these kids to Titan. So I think I'm gonna have, and I'm working out my own DMing problems with you guys, but I think I'm gonna have the kids that they're supposed to protect say, God has called us to go protect the solar system from this incredibly dangerous thing, and it's fine if you guys want to leave, but we're going to do this quest. And just shame them, just shame the players with Mormon kids who are going to save the world. I think that'll work. I don't know. So okay, so back to the one shot. The opposite. So there's stuff, but okay, so the other thing about the difference between a one shot and a longer kind of campaign where you meet every week is that there are more chances to find information, like Lucio's backstory, like, down the line, we still interact with these humans, and we've got to find a way for humans and gnomes to live together. And maybe Lucio's not a bad person, right? So one shots, like I said, or McKenna said in the other class, she doesn't like D&D combat. Takes a long time. It's very mechanical. Doesn't lend itself towards storytelling. And yet when my players talk, a lot of times they talk about that time that you cast the I don't know, the grease spell and on the stairs, and nobody could stand up, even us, and we all kept falling over. And that was in the middle of a battle that was all tactical and dice rolling-y and stuff. And so those like simple kind of XCOM rules. I mean, XCOM and D&D combat are kind of similar, right? It's move a little guy, do your actions, that kind of thing. Yeah. If not 100% miss. Not true, not true. 90, not true. It's just that sometimes the dice roll a 1, right? Okay, so a lot of those kind of memorable moments that they tell the stories of come out of combat. It's also the things that they feel like are their own, right? If there's a moment that seems like, oh, the DM is reading that, so this is a programmed moment, right? This is a crafted moment that is supposed to hit us in the feels, right? That somebody is dying, and as they die, they offer the key to the special vault that takes you to the next thing. The very fact that it's scripted means it's somehow not real, whereas the kind of unscripted emergent story, we haven't talked about emergent storytelling at all yet, where it's very much something the players did that no one could foresee, that becomes the most interesting and fun and memorable part of your story. And maybe that's the reason that you play. So let me ask y'all, you've read the script, so to speak. Was there something that happened in your session that was totally emergent, that is not part of the script? Was well, let's start with that. Anything? Tell me a story. Something cool that happened that is definitely not part of the script.
So like I guess when we were at the schoolyard and we were trying to get money for from the kids, there was one of the contests, climbing the tree or something like that. And so one of our characters, one of our players, he rolled so low that he actually fell down and actually lost health.
Okay.
Yes, and so it's like, huh, this is not supposed to happen at all.
Yeah. Okay. So these are all supposed to be just it takes more time or less time to get the money, and it's low stakes because it's beginning times. So we haven't even started the adventure. You're just trying to get the money to get equipment to go on the adventure, and so you're already taking damage. Yeah. Absolutely. Anything else?
We had taken the rust bag of tricks
Yeah.
back with us. And so when we had first pulled the animal out, we had gotten the bear.
Right.
And so the bear was going to get reset at the end of the day. So we kind of very quickly role played how many days it would take for our bear to come back. And so we had to role play 4 separate days of pulling out multiple animals before we got our poor bear back.
And you're not going to accept any other animal but the bear.
Exactly. So like we were summoning goats and dogs, and we're like, man, we don't care at all about these animals. We just want our bear back. We're doing a lot of that.
Well, that's cool. And it's kind of rules have been set up. We're gonna, well, it's both emotional because you fell in love with the bear, or is it just because the bear does super awesome damage compared to a goat?
Both.
Both. Wincing. And so did you name the bear?
The bear's name was Nebby, from the Pokemon memes of Nebby get back in the bag.
Okay.
So yes.
So yes, the bear was named. And then you took on the final. Well, aren't you guys the ones who got stuck with the bear in a tiny room?
Yeah.
And then you couldn't get the bear out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always fun. One, speaking of story, D&D story, many years ago, one of the NPCs, we didn't have enough people playing, so I was DMing and running a party member NPC so that we had 4 party members, and he was a druid, and he turned, druids turn into animals, so he turned into a bear, um and basically tore things up. Nobody, all their weapons got taken away. Long story, but basically it was a bunch of nearly naked adventurers and a bear, and they get to basically the ladder out to the surface where they can leave, and there's a fight at the base of the ladder, and the bear is knocked unconscious, and I know that when a druid gets knocked unconscious, he's supposed to turn back into a druid, not be the animal or what have you that it's turned into. But I was like, this is so much more fun. And they had an unconscious bear to get up a 10-foot ladder. How do you do that? And so their final hurdle was not the final combat. It was an engineering problem of, I looked up how much bears weigh, which are like 400 pounds. And how are these 3 adventurers going to move a bear up a 10-foot ladder? And that was the rest of the session, and all sorts of fun. Right. And not written in the rules, and kind of against the rules. But I was like, I don't know, maybe the magic got stuck there, but nobody complained, because it was an interesting, I was playing with a bunch of engineers, and that was an interesting engineering project. So, okay, so we got a bear that you fell in love with. Anything else? Stuff that happened? Did it feel like you were following the script? Did it feel like when you were reading it, you're like, oh yeah, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and that it was totally linear? Yeah, we pretty much hit all the beats, Amber says. Is that good? Is that, I mean, you moved through a scripted story, and that's why we write these things. Sometimes it felt forced. Yes, it's there's actually a name for it. It's called railroading. That means you're on a track and you're being pushed down the railroad by the engine, aka the DM. So not all that much fun sometimes, but sometimes, hey, the story's well written and I want to experience what's going on. It would have gotten old if it had been a multi-session thing, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Sure. I've been in one shots where, we come across a statue, and there was marks where it seemed to move, and we started investigating it, and we're doing all these rolls, and the DM finally said, if we had a 4-hour session instead of a 2-hour session, you would probably have already found the secret door that's there. But that secret door is bricked up and it doesn't lead to this huge other section of the dungeon that would afford, about 2 hours of playtime. So, can we all move on? Smith, in my experience, stories that I write feel less linear railroaded. With pre-written, I feel more like I need to follow what's written. Okay, so you're more likely to improvise when it's something you wrote, because I don't know, you wrote it, so you're at the same level of writing as the person who wrote it, right? Maybe that's putting written adventures on a pedestal a bit and saying, um, the person who wrote this is a professional. They got paid for it. Especially for this assignment, it made sense that most DMs follow the script and didn't improv. Yeah, okay. I'll give that. Just to keep things on track and on time, to not waste people's time. Sure. At the same time, I'm gonna, play a little. The memorable stuff often comes out of improv. And I think a good mix. So when you're writing, think about where things may go off the rails, where to give players choice, right? So if I have a corridor with a left turn and a right turn, you're gonna get out my blackboard, my whiteboard, share. So if I have a corridor, your basic T, right? And this ends in a door, and this ends in a door. Hey, that looks just like Trumbus, except upside down. And then it turns out that this choice both led to the same room. That's not a choice, right? So one of the things you can do is start your drawing further down on the page, right? And doorway, right? And then room, and then another door, ba-bam. I'm sorry, I've screwed it up horribly, but say it keeps going, right? So now we have a choice. But here, we have some kind of combat, right? And over here, we have some kind of environmental obstacle. Actually, like pillars you have to jump across, right? And then and jump. And so you can decide. Now there's a choice, right? It both lead to the next thing, right? But some people are going to go fight the hobgoblins, and some people are going to jump across the pillars in the cave of the winds and risk falling and taking damage. Either way, Some of them may take damage, both in a combat or with falls, and heck, you can even put a ladder. Always put a ladder, beep, that starts you over again. So if one person makes it, then you can start stringing ropes and do all sorts of stuff to help the jumping impaired. But either way, you get two kinds of tests. Or what if there's a third room, and this one has a cloaked, mysterious figure who has a book. Oh, look at those drawing skills. And asks magical trivia questions. Right? Now we have combat, we have balance and skills, and we have intelligence. Different tests for different types of characters, and it allows different characters to shine, right? Okay, so think about that. Stanley Parable. I have 5 minutes. I will keep talking tomorrow. Stanley Parable. How is Stanley Parable like Dungeons and Dragons?
The narrator has to improvise according to the player's choices.
Okay. And yet the narrator is pre-recorded, so it's not quite improvised, but it feels like it's improvised, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when he finally decided to board up the broom closet.
Yep. That is the broom version. Rose says there are so many choices. Yes. Think about this. How does Stanley Parable convert choices into space? How is Stanley Parable laid out?
It's like a labyrinth of hallways.
Yeah.
Some of which loop over themselves for eternity until the next thing happens.
Isn't the very first thing you do, you get to choose to go in down the left corridor or the right corridor, and the narrator says you go down the left corridor?
Actually, the first choice is deciding whether or not to close your office door.
I think there's an ending where you can jump out your office window.
I don't think it's the office window. I think it's like the room immediately after the office. There's like a way to get out of the window. I was trying to figure out how to do that, but I couldn't get over the divider between the desks.
Sometimes that area changes in later, like you have to get through on one choice and then it starts you over again, and that area is different on subsequent playthroughs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the whole line thing where you're following the yellow line, and
I was resetting my game a bunch to try to get to that, and at one point there's like paper scattered over. Another time a phone rang and I was able to confirm a call. It will confirm an order for boxes, and next time I reset, all the boxes showed up.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay, there's lots of things to talk about with Stanley Parables. So first off, choices are converted into spatial choices, right? So your choices become what direction you go, very much so, because think about your verbs in Stanley Parable. What can you do in Stanley Parable? You can walk, right? You can jump. Can you do
can't
anything
jump.
else? You can push a button. Can you?
You can't
so-
jump. It's just walk and click.
You can't jump.
No.
You can click on things. Did they take? I swear. Well, I guess you can. I'm thinking of all the times I jumped off the high platform over. And again, I think in terms of, did I go left or did I go right? And I'm thinking over on the right, where you're on that high platform, and you can go across or you can jump off in the middle. And I think in terms of jumping. So even though there's not an actual jump button, I still felt like I jumped because I walked off a platform, I guess. You can so there's a basic use thing. You click on things, and there's walking, and that's it. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure. Okay. So out of those two verbs, think of all the choices you get. And it's basically, what do I use? What do I press buttons on? And where do I go? Can you climb up ladders?
I don't think so, no.
No. Man, ladders were always hinky in Half-Life anyway. So thank goodness. Okay, so one of the so we're playing with free will and predestination, right? How many of you just listened to the narrator and did what he said the first time? Anybody? Yes. Ethan, just listen. And did you feel good about winning? Because you won. Yes. Yes, I did. I felt very good. I won. It told me I won, so I won. I feel good. Bryce ruined everything on his first run. Okay. Did you ever go back and say, well, what if I listened? I played the game before, so I went out of my way to avoid it until I made the mistake of actually turning off the mid-controlled machine. Okay. There's a certain comfort in just doing what you're told. I went through listening to everything just to see all the deviations I could potentially take. Plus, the ending was nice. It is a comforting ending. You go outside and everything is beautiful, and you have won. It's kind of I mean, big picture, there Stanley is. His entire job, his entire existence is pushing the buttons that his computer in his office tell him to push. And essentially that is what the narrator does for you. There's a level of satisfaction in hearing, you're not Stanley, you're a real person. Yes. I just got an email from them. Just want to say, where is it? I think I deleted it. That says the Stanley Parable Ultimate Deluxe Edition is coming. And they've said it's been coming since 2019. Okay, I am out of time. If you haven't already played the beginner's guide, play the beginner's guide and Dr. Langeskov. Stanley was made by two people. One of them went on to make the beginner's guide. One of them went on to make Dr. Langeskov. Let's look at the differences. Okay, tomorrow. And both are pretty quick. Okay.